Hello everyone, Supreme Kami over here. So I'm gonna be talking about the alteration, just reviewing the alteration for the big scale Unicorn Gundam over here. So this is gonna be our third big scale in terms of the exclusive or the limited parts over here. So in terms of any limited big scale, there's just a no-brainer when asking do you want to alterate it, because any big scale in like what we have currently, they're just the best thing ever because they give us like a non-conditional 20% for subslotting. It's either you subslot it or if you put it in your main if you put it on your main slot, your subslots still get a 20% transfer regardless of anything. So that is the far better than anything we have currently. And this one being a limited suit, that means is the stat is gonna be skyrocketing in terms of like looking at these standard ones that we have for big scale. But I still do just want to quickly cover what is the unicorn, like what is it rocking for this one over here. So if you talking about the unicorn, it's just something. I think the next question is like, do I need this unicorn over here? If you simply just playing the game for casual and just don't really care too much about, you do care about a unicorn, but is this the way you want to go for it? Obviously not, because we currently do have tons of unicorn parts like out there in game already. Whether you're looking at just the original unicorn, you're looking at, let's say, the full armored unicorn, and then you have your Banshee and then Banshee Norn, and then you have what the crystallized version of unicorn, and then we have unicorn perfectibility. So we have tons of options out there already, and just having this one as a big scale, this makes things a little bit on the weird spot, because when you do archery any of these parts right here, your parts become big, right? There's currently not a way for us to kind of downscale it while maintaining the big scale property in terms of the alteration version. So that is going to be the downside if you're someone that maybe are into, let's say, the aesthetic of it. This one will not, certainly will not provide you the most aesthetic. And then, like I said again, we just have plenty of unicorn out there already. And if you don't really care too much about the meta, we don't really care about chasing the highest stat part, I will have to say, skipping unicorn and even the left Bantam is definitely a good way to do it, just because it is always easier to summon for something you like, instead of summoning for stuff that is like period for let's say for meta. Like me summoning for every, like on every new banner, is simply because I'm a meta chaser. It's just simple as that, right? And then the other factor is just trying to collect as much parts as I can. So, but if you guys don't really care too much about that aspect, just simply building stuff that you can get or you can afford with some free to play hardships, that is completely fine. But this one with this big scale version of it, I think the only part that me personally I like is definitely gonna be chess. Because of that, summoning Banshee Norn to the field, that is definitely the best thing ever, right? Having that, like, they actually recreated what happened in the actual anime, so I'm definitely for that, and I am extremely lucky at pulling it. So I am not gonna be alterating it anytime soon, just because I don't want it to look all lopsided and stuff. But let's actually begin just talking about the overall parts over here. But in terms of statistically speaking, and on the technical side, this big scale unicorn is definitely, I will have to say, a good candidate of being the best dual type build over here, just because of the word tech that is supporting. I believe you have Protech, Federation, and maybe is it Ace exclusive that we saw? Yeah, Ace exclusive. So this one is definitely a good candidate. Every part together, that will probably make up the highest. Obviously with some good subslotting. This is probably the best one we have to date, just because it's a big scale. So let's actually begin over here. Can I click on it? Traditionally, if this is not a big scale, I will have to say that having a head Vulcan just means say no. It is a dead EX skill. Don't even bother alterating it, because this one's gonna be a big scale, so you can definitely offer a good supporting role. Rather, this one is gonna be a main skill or the main slot. I feel like this one carry out its duty just well, because you're looking at 10,400 shot attack at max out here. So any sub slot that has maybe these right here would definitely get you somewhere very far, right? But they were really good with how they went around this one over here, because traditionally the head part is the most important part for a shooting build. They did not actually give us that good option. They give us Protect, which is like, I don't think there's any Protect shooting part out there that has some high shot attack. So they were very smart in doing that. But I think Federation, we do have a very limited option. but I don't think there's anything good in terms of portrait, so it's kind of like a dud for this one. So, but this one is definitely going to be good for the melee aspect because you do have protect, so that is a plus, I guess. So this one is definitely good for maybe the melee perspective, but in terms of the shot, I don't know. Maybe the shot is a little bit shy. Maybe if you do subslash something that does not share any word tag, for example, you will still lose a big chunks of, let's say, shot attack, for example. Looking at the chest over here, the chest is definitely look at those stats. Like melee and shot attack offensively are equally distributed, so that is like a bravo, bravo right there. Even the armor is extremely high as well, but you're gonna start seeing that in terms of overall suit, the melee defense is the one that's slacking the most compared to, let's say, shot attack or shot defense over here. So this is clearly in the design of, let's say, gearing it a little bit towards that shot attack, for example. That's why you see that in terms of the Excel sheet right there. Shot is gonna be leading just by a few rankings compared to the shot variant, but nonetheless, this is still a extremely good part. This is probably the best part to get out of the set because yes, we got a new EX skill. That is like the, oh man, the best thing they could have done, making a new EX skill for these alternative attribute. Man, gotta get them props for that, right? The last time we had the freedom, we got the full burst roll. That was great. And then the other time we had the Justice giving us like that meteor Russian. I'll take that, right? Those are definitely good stuff to get. Moving on to the arm. So the arm is gonna reframe the original EX skill, the beam tonfa over here. So nothing to kind of talk too much about in that respective. But in terms of the arm, you pack is a pretty good stuff with shot attack over there, coming at 7,196. So this one is definitely a good candidate. But in terms of the word tag over here, they're looking pretty suspicious right there. What? Like they're actually packing 4. I forgot they also packing for space, which is like just a kind of extremely hard to build around that. So I don't know what to say about this one. But you know, if that 9 condition of 20% would definitely make things a lot more better. I think you can actually subslide this one to maybe the RA72, but I believe that one is a big skill as well. So big skill, subbing a big skill is not gonna give you any boosting. So you can only do that. You can only get the scale difference from a 1 to 144 scale. So that is gonna be unfortunate. I don't think there's any other good Federation parts in my mind. I can't think of any at the moment. So it's a little unfortunate that they pack in for space on that right there. But the next our next hit part on the list is definitely going to be the leg over here, because this one is going to be giving us that juicy 40% trade to EX skill here. So they mentioned EX skill here. So when they mention EX skill, this is a good part to use it on any builds, specifically a melee and shot, because your EX skill will be able to benefit. You know, EX skill does not really discriminate between shot or melee anyway. So that's why this part is definitely hands down the you know, the chasing part or the meta part you want to be checking out for sure. But if you guys do have this one already, for example, if I can find it, if you guys already have, can I find the unicorn? It's not this one. Gosh, let me see if I can find a big scale or the other scale unicorn, the full armor one. This one over here. If you guys are currently having this one already, this one should be sufficient enough, just because this one is designed specifically for a shooting build. But do keep in mind in terms of the caveat with this one, just want to quickly talk about this one as well. 90% armor, so once you drop below that, this is going to be a concern for you. But if you can maintain 90% at most of the time, I would have to say this one is definitely going to be a lot more easy to run over, let's say, the one we have right now. Just because of the fact that this one is only restricting to only using beams. So any of your physical, like especially when you are gonna, let's say, using this on a melee build, there's tons of portrait that boost specifically physical for melee. So you may not want to be running this one at all. So but this one nonetheless is a excellent portrait, just because it's a double EX skill boosting. So this one is good. Good word check as well. Federation, you know, should be able to fill in some good melee parts, suppose. I don't know, you don't need to, right? Because this overall build overall design is to run this on a dual type build, so it's actually good already. Moving on to the back. The back is going to continue to support Federation and then Ace exclusive over here. So even the word tags over here or the stat right here, evenly distributed again. But like I said again, the melee defense aspect is definitely gonna be on the low end tier over here. On this one over here, this one specifically, we don't really need to care too much about the double saber rush over here because I don't even know like who actually runs this one over here. Like this is like a pretty generic EXQ that even free to play unit gets, or I don't know. So, but definitely Ultra this one purely for the big scale purposes over here. Other than that, this is top tier part of the beginning for sure. Moving into the beam saber now. What's the beam saber packing? I'm surprised they didn't actually pack any shot attack into this one. Like normally they have been doing that, but this one they did not. So going back to the Federation and Protest setup over here. So this one is in terms of the portrait, this one is not the most ideal to be getting. Having job gauge increases is not like the best thing to have, but it's nice, but just not the best. But definitely run this over anything, I guess. This one is still good. Having Protect should be able to allow you to get some good sub slot, for example. Like having Protect is huge things for a beam saber category right there, so not bad for sure. Like if you were to sub slot something that has Protect, for example, you can get yourself maybe close combat, maybe high firepower. I think that actually work in a melee build no problem, because this one is not really discriminating between a shooting build or a shooting build or melee build. So this one it's gonna work well, really good. Moving on to some, let's say, some ranged weaponry right now. In terms of range weaponry, this one is slightly worse. And just talking about the stat right now, the stat on the weaponry right now is a little bit slightly worse than what we had for the big scale freedom, unfortunately. But this one is definitely the one to be getting, or the one to be using, because this one is actually giving you that premium initial charge. So this one is gonna work really well. If you are gonna be using Federation, I feel like you should, right? If you are gonna use this build, you would definitely use Federation, and it will work really well. When buffed up shooting power boost by 35%, so typical, but really good. But the worst head right there, having force trace, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about having that force trace right there. It's just why? Why would I get it, but why on here again? Like, in terms of the beam rifle over here, the beam magnum, this is definitely a good part to be getting if you are gonna be consistently running this on a 3v3, for example, because this one is specifically when you have all attributes, so meaning you have P attribute builds and then S attribute build. That is when you can trigger this one over here. So this one is really specific. I'm pretty sure not a lot of people might like this one, for example, but it is what it is. But this one is able to give you that 25%, so that is a premium, the ultimate stat or the percentage we can get currently. So this one is a little bit better in terms of work tag wise over here. It's exclusive and Federation, so definitely a lot more easy to kind of build around that. So not bad for sure. All right, moving on to the shield portion over here. So this one, in terms of the armor DE, we have this version already for the Banshee, so it's not going to be anything too new for the EXQ base over here. This one, I don't really like this beam cannon, just because of the fact that after every round, the reload rate is extremely slow. Like, I don't know. So this one is definitely not the top tier choice for me in terms of like looking at magazine type. The stat wise, not gonna be anything to complain about. Like looking at 5,000 across the board after using the change gear, like man, this is this is good. So the word tag is actually good as well. Ace exclusive and Federation, so continue that dual tap build aspect right there. So now moving on to the final part right here. Just gonna quickly mention it right now. This one. This one I would have to say is more really, I don't know. This one is purely for utility base over here, just because you are going to be reducing your enemy shooting power, for example, or like this one is stating. And this one is buffing the EXQ time up by 30%. So whatever buffs, let's say, you can gather from using this one over here. So whatever, not this one, whoops. So whatever buffs you were able to carry on from here, like 40%, you are. They don't actually tell you how many seconds like the effects go into, but that will definitely increase that by 30 seconds or 30%. So that is actually really good, because these effects down here, like they fade really fast. If you only have it at EX skill level 1, for example, they fade like within, like, I don't know, is it Was it like a 10 seconds? They fade within the first 10 seconds? I forgot. Or I never actually find out what is the exact time they fade out from like level 1 to level 10. But having that 30% would definitely allow you to get those effects going on a little bit more. So that's definitely not bad, right? Oh, so this one is having you to run a middle shooter. How specific is that? Why, man? But yeah, anyways, that is gonna be pretty much it. Just talking about the big scale unicorn over here. So this is purely this specifically, I will have to say it's made for like a dual type build. There's just no way around it, right? Like from what it's doing, the board type wise over here, like the portrait wise, definitely supporting like a perfect dual type build. But you know, that being said, that is gonna be pretty much it. Do let me know, like, did you guys even summon on this unicorn, or was you guys able to hunt down any part in particular, for example? But that is gonna be pretty much it with this review, and then I'll catch you guys all on the next one.